Ice! It's ice!
Him.
Please help me record. Get behind them if you have a car. If you have a car, please pull behind them. It's ice. Can you pull behind them? It's ice. They're trying to kidnap people. Please pull behind them. Please pull behind them and park. Please.
And somebody
Please
does
park
it.
behind them. Can you put your car behind them, please? It's ice. Put your car there. They're gonna move. Hurry, please. Hurry. Park your car sideways, please.
The ice agent's trying to get out. He's backing up, doing little three-point turns, trying to curve out of this. He gets out, but gets blocked again. She speeds up behind him to block the rear of his truck.
Dumb, you're not going anywhere. We have them blocked in, but we need more cars.
I want to talk about this, the biggest story. Like we know right now, Minnesota is the political crux of American politics right now. So my guys, Abba and Preach on YouTube, I'm normally I kind of agree with most of the stuff that they say. But this is the new POV that was released of the thing, and they're reacting to that. Like I said, their take was a little off, in my opinion. So Abba and Preach, like I said, they're pretty moderate. They're pretty down the line. Like they're not radical most times. But from what I'm seeing, in my perspective of things, I think not only is the police officer going to get off, but she tried to hit him with the car.
All right, Minneapolis, everyone is losing it. Actually, all across the nation, people are protesting en masse because of the shooting involving an ICE officer and a woman who's a U.S. citizen in her car.
Yeah, we didn't have access to this footage before we hit the record button, but we felt it important to add. So here's footage from the actual officer's perspective.
All right, this is the footage, the new footage that was released. This is the actual the ICE officer that was using the camera, his camera. And I'm just wondering about the mechanics of this, because to have a phone in your hand and then have the quickness to pull out and fire 3 times is quite crazy. And this is the unfortunate victim. Rest in peace, But a lot of people kind of mistook this moment for a friendly interaction. But what I can see here, and you'll see pretty soon, is that when I don't know how to say this, but somebody from Minnesota explained it to me that people can kill you with kindness in Minnesota. And so though this response, most of the country is reading as, oh, she was peaceful, she was just chilling before. This is a threat. This is a threat. Between her and her girlfriend, this is kind of a threat. I mean, and you put it in context of what the girlfriend is saying, because the girlfriend already exited the car and she's somewhat taunting the ICE officers.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
She says, that's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Right? Now, that is an unassuming statement for most people. But given in this certain situation, like, it seems a little alarming that that's what she was saying. Why would she say, reassure the cop? Why would they reassure the cop that they're not mad at them? Like, that seems backwards in this situation. So she pulls over, or she's blocking the street, right? And I think what happens is the wife gives it away.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
I'm not mad at you.
It's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same.
Show your face. So I'm assuming they're on the same page in that car. When she comes out of there and she says, show your face, she's trying to say something. She's trying to, this lady is definitely taunting. The other one, like I said, it's on the fence, but show your face. That's what they've been arguing about with ICE for the longest. So are these protesters, are these people who have protested ICE, are these people that are frustrated that ICE is in their neighborhood? Most likely.
Complaint when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former. You want to come at us?
All right. So he comes across.
Go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead. Out of the car.
That's taunting. That is literally taunting right there. Like, come on, we're not mistaking that. I say go get some lunch, big boy. She's telling an officer with a service weapon, you should go get some lunch and go get some lunch, big boy. Yeah. And I've heard some interesting things about her past as well. This
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Or a situation that refers to the woman that's actually in the driver's seat. Now she attempts to go in and she backs up the car. Happened that quick. That quick. To make a judgment in that little bit of time, I'm going to say some people get it wrong, but what I heard was contact. It sounded like there was contact. At least he touched the car and he says, whoa. So you're telling me that this guy is not supposed to retaliate, especially given his history. He's already had an incident similar to this where he was dragged down the street by a fleeing suspect. Yeah. It's crazy. There's contact. There's contact. I can tell that there's contact there. So that's where we're at with this. It's just there's definitely some contact there. So I've been preaching playing this. Let me get through this.
The Department of
That's
Homeland
terrible.
Security claimed the woman had tried to run over officers with her car and called it an act of terrorism.
My only question is, if you guys thought that she was this dangerous domestic terrorist, if she was a domestic terrorist and some dangerous perp, why would you circle the car like this and be in front of it?
What? Abba. What do you think police are doing? That's exactly what normal police do. And look at poor dog in the back seat. Man, I hate that he had to witness that too. But what do you think police officers do? I mean, it's pretty much procedure. If there's one police officer, the other one's checking out the perimeter of the car. Now, I don't know if they normally walk in front of the car because of this possibility, but does that mean you should slam on the gas? Yeah, I think there's a problem here in the storytelling.
Putting yourself in danger.
How do you understand what happened?
From what I saw from the video is that I don't know why she was positioned that way in the street, but from what I saw, she was waving cars by.
Yeah.
And waved again, and the car stopped, and then the ICE agents got out.
So the government's account is that one of the ICE officers was stuck in a snowbank, and as a result of that, they were trying to get him out. During that time, a lot of people were kind of chasing them out. They've been going against ICE everywhere they've been.
Right.
And during this time, they're claiming that this lady was part of the people blocking them in, and as they were trying to leave, that's where some of them approached her.
Sure. What the government is saying doesn't match what I saw. The cop that allegedly shoots her gets out of the car, circle around the car with his phone out. The second thing that is weird is whenever you do a stop, there's a way to position yourself. And in front of the vehicle is not where the position is.
True.
They don't.
Now, see, I disagree with that. So you notice she didn't move the vehicle until he's in front of the vehicle. Am I tripping? Am I the only person seeing that? She doesn't move the vehicle until there's somebody in front of the vehicle. And not only that, she moves the vehicle backwards to create space, right? And some people have tried to justify it because they said her wheels were pointed to the right. But as a person that's observing, you can only see that on the footage. We can see this now in hindsight, but in the moment, you got to know, like, that's not something he can see. If you see a car coming at you and then you feel a car contact your body, certain things will happen. Reflexes will happen, you know?
Driving, they're not positioning themselves there. They're behind. It's the same thing that happens there. This dude goes in front of. And then the other thing that struck me and that was kind of weird was the way the whole thing happened.
In front of does not mean to slam on the accelerator. Let me just say that. That's clear to me.
Phone, let me shoot. And then the way he holstered and just casually walked to the...
With a cell phone in his hand, mind you, he's still recording with a cell phone in his hand. Now, that right there tells me that he didn't have premeditation, as some people want to say, that he was looking for trouble. If you've got your cell phone out recording with one hand and you have to quick reach for your hip, that's something totally different right there. That is not premeditation in my mind.
The car that was later on after that crashed because the lady was probably stepping.
Terrible. Terrible. That's a terrible outcome. None of this stuff should have had to happen. Let's get that out. It didn't have to happen. But there were several things, like I said, several events that led up to this, and we cannot ignore them. We cannot absolve people from it just because we politically think one way or the other, you know?
Expired. It's just the way that he was like, let me holster this and let me just... There was no procedures. Nobody was trained. All right, get out of the car and start to yank.
They weren't trained? I mean, how do you know they weren't trained? Like, just by that interaction. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of assumptions here being made by Preach in particular and Abba less so, but they weren't trained. How do you know they weren't trained?
On the door, the agent, the way he was acting, it felt like he wanted to shoot someone.
I think.
See, that's an assumption in itself. You feel like he wanted to shoot someone. That's crazy. That's a crazy assumption to make too. Like, I feel like he did, so that's enough. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's certain videos like this that I'm just like, you know, people surprise you all the time. You know what I mean? With what they post and their takes on things. I think sometimes some people just want to be on the right side of things, and they're not using logic a lot of times.
Case goes for this. You know, everyone's going to have their take. A lot of people feel like it's clear-cut. In my experience, whenever it involves law enforcement, whatever the public thinks is clear-cut murder doesn't really matter in legal standards, because you see it all the time with killings that happen on camera with pull-out guns just blasting everywhere. They get off almost all the time. So, like, cops have pretty strong immunity, and I understand that.
And they've gotten stronger in the past few years. Let's not forget.
DHS agents aren't necessarily cops, but they do operate as federal agents. So, you know, they're going to have quite a lot of leeway in regards to how they fear for their lives. And the woman, when she's pulling out, nearly does or kind of starts to hit the guy, but he's already on the side before.
No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do the kind of starts to hit the guy. Did she make contact with him or not? Because that is vehicular. If you slammed on the gas and somebody's in front of your car, it doesn't matter. it doesn't matter what your intentions were. If you were just like, oh, I'm just going to drive down the street, don't worry about it. After you were given what appears to be a direct order to do something else. So Abba's going to slide past that? You're just going to slide past the fact that she actually made contact with him, which a lot of people were denying. And this new angle proves, in fact, that she made contact with him.
Nearly does, or kind of starts to hit the guy, but he's already a fear for.
So Abba knows the truth.
The woman, when she's pulling out, nearly does, or kind of starts to hit the guy, but he's already on the side before he starts shooting. So
it kind of does start to hit the guy. That's what he says.
That's something they're going to figure out in a court of law, and I'm not going to sit here. They go into jail. I don't know. None
of us know, but I can tell you it is not as cut and dry in the other way. What a lot of people are saying, like this is a premeditated act. They're wrong. They're wrong. I 100%. There's no way. There's no way this stands up.
Put my money on it. They're not going to jail.
No, they're not going to jail. And
even if they did, Orange Man's going to pardon him because he don't give a fuck about the law. Because the law means nothing to him. I'm going to Venezuela because of drugs, and then he pardons a former president who sold so much drugs in this country. Nothing matters.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. It's not
totally unrelated, but okay.
Him being accountable, don't count on it, in my opinion.
And Venezuela is a whole nother issue. I have to do a whole nother live stream on that.
When I watched the clip, I cued in on the exact same thing, which is why would you ever go in front of a vehicle that way?
You go around in the other.
Why would you? What is one of the first rules you learn? Let me go full. What is one of the first rules you learn of the road? If somebody's in front of your car, do not drive into them. I'm serious. And I know this is a serious topic, but I can't get past the fact that people are missing that point. Like, sure, you can panic. You can panic in some moments like that, but why are people justifying that she tried to run this guy over? And he's already got PTSD from another incident? Man, it's bad.
Other side, too.
It's a really bad practice for the safety of yourself and for the situation because you're going to make it escalate if you get hit.
100%.
And then you put yourself in jeopardy. So it's just bad police practice. But then also like shooting the person in the car is also bad. But even if you get them, if their foot is still on the pedal and they just press, which is very natural for a lot of people to do, they're running right into a house in a residential area. If the cameraman was not behind the thing but in front, he might have got hit by the car. So it's really stupid in so many different ways, him shooting at the car. People are saying, well, this woman's, first off, she wasn't going that fast. But shooting her.
What? She wasn't going that fast? She backed up. So she had a chance. She had two chances there to back up the car. She could have stopped right there and then drive forward. That is two separate thoughts. I'm going to back up so I'm out of the way, and then I'm going to drive forward when somebody's telling me to stop. Somebody that's law enforcement, whether you respect them or not, they are law enforcement. They're able to carry weapons in this, apparently, in this nation. They've been given some authority as federal agents. And they did probably what they were trained to do, since you think they don't have any training, Preach. Like I said, I like these guys. I have no problem with Abba and Preach. But I heard this and I was like, really? Really?
Ensures that she has no control over her vehicle. So it's not a good thing. And at the same time, fleeing isn't a crime worthy of you having to shoot. Now, they're going to make the argument, if I'm being fair, where they're saying she's using this vehicle as a deadly weapon or whatever.
Right.
Look at the position of the tires. She was not going towards the officer.
No excuse, because neither officer, this one right here at the door and the other one in front, can see the tires from their vantage point to know that, oh, she's making a right turn. She's going to drive off, peel off right to the right side.
She was going away from him.
And if I'm,
but then again, that's going to be me.
You know, that's something they're going to argue in court.
Yeah, because the cop is not seeing that.
You can see he is quite close by the time it happened.
Yeah,
I'm telling you what the legal.
She still made contact with him, whether her intentions were to do otherwise. She did make contact with him. What I'm saying is, that's going to be hard to beat. That's going to be hard to beat in court. I mean, not for the cop. Not for the ICE officer, but the idea that he somehow premeditated this and did all this. I think it's very hard for him to get convicted on this thing. So I don't even know why there's a huge outcry and all this stuff. You know, I do think about the presence of the protesters that have been in Minnesota have been, how do you say this? A little astroturf, if you had to ask me. Like, they've been called out in several videos of people who are known agitators, provocateurs in that crowd that want to keep this thing going. And they're like, finally, we got something here. We got something. It now seems allegedly, since the recording of this, Renee Good has been confirmed to allegedly be a member of ICE Watch. Their goal is to disrupt ICE operations, not just some legal observer mom in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was a radical anti-ICE activist. It says here how to submit reports to Minnesota ICE Watch. Who is present? Is it ICE, police, FBI? How many agents are present? What is happening? What are the agents doing? Are they detaining, kidnapping someone? Where is this happening? City, neighborhood, business, streets. When is this happening? Where reported? Will this be taking place? What equipment do the agents have? What does their clothing look like? What weapons do they carry? What vehicles are they present with? So she was very well aware of who she was dealing with in this situation. For all the people that are like, oh, she was just a nice lady. She was saying, I'm not mad at you. This is who we're really dealing with in this situation.
We first heard about this incident about 9:50 a.m. local time. That's when an ICE verifier, that's a community member here in Minneapolis, let us know, shot us a text message letting us know that a American citizen was shot and killed. Another ICE verifier was shot and killed right over there.
You hear that? He just admitted another ICE verifier or observer. These were related. The fact that they got into it with ICE was not an accident. You understand now? Like I said, I'm disappointed in Abba and Preach, but they still my people's.
Legal defense is going to be.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to go beyond a reasonable doubt.
100%.
And you guys might not like this, but oftentimes cops get that doubt. More often than not.
100%.
It's not even part of DHS policy to go after somebody in terms of a chase like this.
In my 25 years, I've done hundreds of vehicle stops. If someone is fleeing, that is not a justification for the use of deadly force.
Okay, now was she fleeing or was she trying to drive off when somebody was in front of her car? She had to know this guy was there, right? I think that's clear. She knew someone was in front of her. So when the contact is made, because there's also an argument now where people are trying to say that he was firing before she drove off, which is total. It's a total distortion of what we've seen here in front of us. And this is the problem in this day and age, is that I don't know how you can watch this video and have several different outcomes or several different takes on what happened. Now people are saying this footage that the guy involved in the incident shot is not enough. It's not adequate enough, that they need a body cam footage. And they're like, they don't have body cams. So it's like they're kicking the can down the road. They're moving the goalposts on what is needed. But I'm glad he released this footage because I think it's going to be very important to the political framing of this whole argument.
The Department of Homeland Security's use of force policy, firearms may not be discharged solely to disable a moving vehicle, and shooting.
That solely to disable moving vehicles. You see those 3 dots in there? That is saying there's a lot of other stuff in between there. I wish I had DHS's this page pulled up, but this is a misleading quote here. Except in the limited circumstances, ... DHS LEOs are prohibited from discharging firearms solely ... to disable moving vehicles. Now, disabling a moving vehicle to me is more of actually shooting the vehicle to stop it, not happening to shoot the person in the vehicle, right? Is that disabling the vehicle, or is that stopping a threat? Because that's what it seems like in this case in particular. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of information in those 4 dots right there.
At a moving vehicle is tightly restricted.
So my training was that you cannot use deadly or lethal force solely to stop a fleeing vehicle.
In 1994, 95, we changed it in LAPD when I was there in 2004. But it's basically simple, which is if you're confronted by a moving vehicle that could be a threat to you, get out of the way of the vehicle and don't shoot at a car. Now this is...
So all the people...
Very convenient. But in the moment, in the heat of the moment, that literally happened in 3 seconds. Are you saying that in every scenario, you're supposed to just allow yourself to be contacted by a vehicle and not respond? Not respond with the trauma response that you've built from actually doing what you all suggested. Because if you know, and they show it later in the video here, this police officer was drugged by another car at another traffic stop. And Abba is trying to say that this is like something else.
The officer himself, because a lot of people have been trying to figure out who he is and what he's about.
What began as a planned federal immigration arrest
here it is.
Took a violent turn in this quiet Bloomington neighborhood. Court documents say he repeatedly refused to comply before a federal agent took out his spring-loaded window punch with his right hand and broke the driver's side rear window. These images show the officer's hand in the vehicle.
Hand in the vehicle,
you can see the driver take
pulls off.
The agent hanging from the car, dragging him 300 feet through.
He could have died. There's another YouTuber named Nathan, ex-police officer, that this happened to. And there's actually, just like this, there's video footage of him almost being driven down the highway while attached to a vehicle like this. Now imagine the trauma response when you're in almost an identical situation, except for you're not even, this lady isn't even a perp. That's what I'm saying. Like they are definitely being they were very confrontational for people who were not the target of ICE at all. So it leads me to believe they had some type of protest going on, but nobody's saying that. They're just saying these people, these innocent victims were just minding their business, and these big bad ICE officers came up and did something to them. So this guy's already been through this same situation. And watch what Abba says about this. Abba and Preach say about this.
Front yards. These graphic images show the
he got
it's the same agent.
Right?
It's the exact same agent who pulled the gun and fired it on this lady.
Well,
right.
See that he's the Punisher, and his name is Frank Castle.
Really? Shout out to John Bernthal. That's the homie right there, DC representative. But you think he's thinking he's a vigilante? He's the Punisher now? Because of that? Are you serious? Like, I'm just not getting it. I'm not understanding. You're not taking any objective view to how this guy's history plays into how he acts in the heat of the moment. Now, that might be something he needs to deal with that actually, might impact his employment, but this is his job. He's already been drugged down the street one time, and you're gonna judge him for having a snap reaction when he doesn't want it to happen again. It's crazy.
And this is what I mean when I say incompetence. I don't mind that these people are executing this warrant. This man's not supposed to be there. Deport him. Do what you just got to do.
Incompetence?
Shit like that, you put yourself and others at risk.
Mm-hmm.
Incompetence. He got incompetence from the fact that this guy got drugged a whole over a curb, apparently, too. Got injured on the job. Probably trying to go for the keys. You know what I mean? He was probably trying to turn the car off. But didn't discharge his weapon in that moment. And sees this situation and says, oh, no, this is not happening again.
And it's the incompetence that I have an issue with. My man just reaching in, and the guy just takes. Now you're putting yourself. Now you may have to use your firearm, or you may die yourself. The thing that always strikes me when I watch this, and I think it's true for everything that this administration does in regards to world trade, everything like that, it's just everything is sloppy. Everything is sloppy. Everything is smoke and mirrors. Everything's just like, let's say none of us know what happened. Why the?
Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Thank you for joining me over here. It's late where I am, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know how you all can come away with that assessment, Abba and Preach. It just seems kind of like you're very much on the woman's side for some other reason than like seeing this objectively. Like if they called it down the middle, I could see that more specifically. But from what I've seen and all the angles that we've seen of this, it seems pretty clear to me that this guy was in danger and he reacted. But anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Faucette Media. Make sure you subscribe to this Twitch. I'm going to be coming here live more often. We can agree to disagree, just like that. I disagree with Abba and Preach. I don't hate Abba and Preach. They cool, man. Like I said, I agree with a lot of the takes that they have. I enjoy watching their videos. That's why I was kind of shocked that they kind of took that angle. But either way, we shall see.